Hello and welcome to a game of Dota 2. You are watching StarSeries. It is Season 7, Day 19, Game 4 of 5. And we're gonna see Kaipi versus Poseidon. So, Kaipi thus far only having one loss under their belt. Poseidon, of course, formerly Verge Pro, most of them, is doing pretty okay for themselves as well. They are sitting at the 6th place. I say pretty okay, but they have actually 10 games played, 5 wins, 5 losses. So you can decide for yourself. And you can compare to Kaipi, who have also 5 wins, but only 1 loss. So Kaipi, of course, doing better. By the way, of course, for today, I am not by myself. I am now joined by 2 extra people. We have got Nahaz inside the game client who will be providing you with all the stats about the game. You've seen him, of course, in the chat before already. And now he's actually doing the same thing, but then in the game client. And the person that you will hear next to me is Capitalist. Welcome back.
Well, on behalf of Knaz, thank you for having us here.
On behalf of Knaz?
This should be a good game. Sorry.
Okay. But why on behalf of Knaz?
Kaipi, Poseidon.
What? You said on behalf of Knaz, thank you for being here, or sorry, something like that.
Yeah, well, you know, stats man can't talk,
Oh,
so
Nahaz.
thanking you for both of us.
Nahaz. I thought, well, because Knaz is my other co-cast, is like, wait, what?
No wonder.
Where's the link?
God,
But yeah. Yeah, Nahaz, our stats man, grabbed from the chat and put in the game to do his job. We have Kaipi. Shadow Fiend, Clockwork picked up very early, 2 pickups that you don't normally see this early on in the game, so already changing it up a little bit. The bans are quite straightforward though, with IO, Barrider, Visage and OD. Poseidon also straightforward first pickup. It's a Naga Siren, just very strong control hero, very strong hero to pick up very early on as well, just because it basically counters everything in a way. And yeah, Kaipi, Clockwork, Shadow Fiend. We've seen it before. We've seen, of course, Bone 7 Clockwork is pretty much legendary, with, of course, him being the first one to build an armlet on that one. And Shadow Fiend for Sing Sing, we've seen that one before in the mid lane as well, doing really well, even though they sometimes switch it up. And they put then Shadow Fiend farming Shadow Fiend for Envy, and gives him Sing Sing something else. Poseidon actually taking a page out of the book of 4FC here.
Yeah, this is interesting. Kaipi, I mean, this is some of their signature heroes, Clockwork and Shadow Fiend, both of them being picked up so early. Definitely not the heroes that you normally expect in the 1-2. You would expect them usually on the second picking phase, but they pick them up nice and early, and that's because Kaipi has their own style, and they are very, very good at it. Naga Siren, Gyrocopter, you've got a good little combo there, plus on top of the fact Shadow Fiend is one of those heroes similar to Gyrocopter. He's a squishy sort of glass cannon carry, and he normally picks up a BKB fairly early on, just because nukes are going to bring him down pretty quickly. So with that BKB, that's another thing about Naga Siren, is she's a really good counter to BKB heroes. She's exceptionally good against a lot of forward protect 1 strategies that focus on Lunas, Shadow Fiends, any sort of those heroes that pick up a BKB, because she pops that ultimate, all of a sudden there goes all the allies of that one BKB hero are asleep and invulnerable, and as a team, Poseidon can just focus down on that one BKB'd up hero. So that's just a little insight going into the mid game of what we might see. But early on, we have a Wombo combo, and I wonder if they're fully going to commit to that, especially since Kaipi already has a bit of a fighting lineup with SF and Clockwork. I wonder if we're going to see heroes like Darkseer surprisingly went through the whole entire ban and picking phase so far without even being seen. I wouldn't be surprised if Kaipi banned it right here, just because the danger of the Naga Siren and the Vacuum Gyrocopter combo, it's really, really dangerous to go up against that, especially early on before BKBs are up.
Yeah, the team fight would then just explode for Poseidon, and then even though you have got the control from the Clockwork and the Shadow Fiend, it would still be very strong, but no ban for the Darkseer. It's the Weaver that gets removed, it's the Bane that gets picked up, so that's something to hold the Gyrocopter in place and perhaps even make sure that Naga Siren can't do anything. I have to point out that there's a Troll Warlord, but he is banned out. But still, nice ban. It does mean that Poseidon is maybe a bit more prepared about what Kaipi is going to do, because they have indeed before picked up that Troll, put him in the mid, and still have the Shadow Fiend on the safe lane farming. I wouldn't be surprised to see if they do that this time as well. They've also done the same thing with the Timbersaw before. And Timbersaw, of course, also still in the pool, as we're also still waiting for an extra support from Kaipi. And, I mean, they are a team to have pretty typical picks, but all the picks that they have are not typical for the rest of the scene at the moment, or at least not that typical. We see them on and off, but for example, Spearbreaker support could still fit in Kaipi's lineup, and I wouldn't be surprised to see that one. I'm hoping for it actually, because it does make the games a little bit more interesting with the charging bull across the map. Although I think that Poseidon might have nightmares about that one after last game on Monday. Did you hear the story about that one?
No, I didn't. What
so KSI was playing Clockwork, and everything was going okay-ish. He was doing the whole you know, block the camp or block the creep wave and put them in the jungle kind of thing, right? And he figured, you know, I can probably block better if I walk at the same speed as creeps. So every time he blocked, or every time he put the creep wave in the jungle, he took off his boots and he placed them on the floor. And, you know, did the block, everything was fine. All of a sudden, in comes charging Spearbreaker with an infested lifestealer. He charged up against the Clockwork, who just put down his boots and is walking towards the creep wave. Spearbreaker says, "Oh my god, there are boots there!" He stops his charge, he runs towards the boots. Clockwork thinks, "Oh my god, he's going for my boots," so he runs towards the boots as well, which he probably should have. And then out comes a lifestealer, in comes the cogs, down goes the Clockwork, boots picked up by Fnatic at the moment. And in the last, like, okay, the boots of course got put in the base. They didn't get destroyed, they got put in the base. Fnatic ending up winning that game. But before they won, No Tail on his visage, he actually moved back to his own base, picked up the boots, flew all the way to the fountain of Poseidon, dropped the boots in front of the fountain, and then the game ended. Actually, Trixie still destroyed the boots right before the game ended. But it was pretty epic. It was pretty funny. The game of the boots.
Wow.
But yeah, that's why Poseidon probably will not be too happy to be up against Clockwork. I mean up against Spearbreaker. But I don't think they have to have that issue because Enigma got picked up. I mean, the draft did continue. I was having my monologue. Puck picked up by Poseidon. No, that's a strong mid hero. Even if it's not Shadow Fiend, Puck overall does fairly okay. There are of course a couple that Puck has a bit of an issue with, but we'll see. We'll see what KP goes for. What are you expecting for that Shadow Fiend? Is he gonna be on the mid lane or on the safe lane?
I think he's going to be in the mid lane, but if they do put him in the mid lane, they need to get up some early wards, mid laning wards. Now, that still doesn't quite protect you from smoke, but it helps a little bit. Placing the right wards, it may give you that extra half a second or a second worth of warning before those supports actually get to you. But you have what... like, SF can do just perfectly fine versus Puck and may even win the lane with the right raises, with the right amount of CS. He should do really, really well. But the biggest thing is the ganks. Nagasan, Rubik, very, very early ganking squad right there. So they smoke up. They're going to try and put pressure on SF. Same way you do with an OD. They are heroes that dominate the mid lane for the most part, but are very susceptible to ganks. So that's what Poseidon's probably going to try and put some pressure there. They may even go for an aggro try here with the Gyrocopter and pick up something else to go in the safe lane for them. But either way, that's the biggest thing. If Kaipi feels a little bit threatened by that, they'll just go safe lane with the Bane, pick up some other mid here, maybe in something like a Queen of Pain that can jump in with the Clockwork.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm expecting SF mid.
Yeah, TA could be a good one as well to face up against Puck, but you're right.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind seeing TA or Queen of Pain. They're a bit more aggressive mids, and I think that fits Sing Sing a bit better than the Shadow Fiend, even though he's doing well on that one as well, of course. But we'll see. They have got a little time left in their bonus time, and they will use it. Poseidon so far, I mean, their control, their team fight is looking pretty solid. And, I mean, you have a Naga, Siren, Gyrocopter, were the first two pickups, and they already thought, well, this is a strong teamfight lineup, and even with KP having a Shadow Fiend Clockwork, also pretty decent, you'd still put it in favor a bit of Poseidon. But then in comes the Enigma, and right now, the thing that Poseidon builds for, and of course they can steal the Black Hole and the Fiend's Grip for the Rubik, but right now, teamfight-wise, Poseidon is not in favor anymore, so that I kind of makes you wonder, because Poseidon, what are you building for? Teamfight. Right now, you're being out-teamfighted by KP. With the Luna last pickup, so that will be their safe lane. So I'm kind of worried because they don't really have this ganking lineup. They can't really gank specifically well unless Puck really dominates the early game, and especially also in the lane, of course. But if that's not the case, how is Poseidon gonna win those team fights? Only by Rubik steals?
Well, one thing is that Kaipi did pick an Enigma into a Naga Siren. Naga Siren is a really good counter to Enigma for a couple of reasons. First of all, you hit a good black hole. Naga Siren should be in the bag for most of these team fights, ready to throw out her ultimate. Needs to make sure she doesn't get caught in that. On top of that, even once Enigma has a BKB, you're able to counter that with an ensnare. That being said, there should be a lot of BKB heroes on Kaipi. Enigma, I think, not going to go for Blink here. They have a very defensive squad going on here. They don't need to get overly aggressive. Go straight to the BKB with Enigma. Maybe, well, stop for a mech. Go for mech, then BKB. Luna has the BKB and SF picks up a BKB all early on. If they all pop theirs at the same time, it doesn't matter what Naga Siren can do about her ultimate. They counter that in a very, very large way. So even if the ensnare is used for Black Hole, that means it's not being used on the Luna or the SF. Poseidon, honestly, I think they have to go for an aggro or try here, but I don't think they will. With that Windrunner pickup, that looks to be their off lane, puck mid, and a defensive tri lane. But honestly, I feel like they need to put pressure on this Luna really, really early on. And then from there, even though they're going up against an Enigma jungle, they can try and roam to mid and shut down the SF as well. But there's a lot of pressure on Poseidon to move around the map heavily, and you're right. It's going to be a lot of this game is going to be up to Puck and whether or not he is able to win his lane or at least come out even, pick up that early blink dagger, and they have to get extremely aggressive. Like, they can't stop for farming at all once they have that blink dagger, because the BKBs are going to be up very, very shortly after that. And once the BKBs are up for Kaipi, honestly, this game is very, very hard for Poseidon to win. And that's tough to say, because like, you can't just end the game before BKBs are picked up usually. Like, they're not going to be able to take a Rex before a BKB is up on an SF, one of the fastest farmers in the game, and a Luna, who's extremely good at being able to clear through jungle stacks. So, honestly, I feel that Kaipi has outdrafted Poseidon in a lot of ways, and this game's going to get harder and harder as it goes late. BKBs is going to be the biggest hump for Kaipi. Once they have those, the team fights should, for the most part, be in the bag, or at the very least, they won't lose the team fights bad enough that the game will end in time, and they'll just be able to just stave off the Poseidon pushes and get Luna really, really big, and get that SF, that big glass cannon, hitting for, 1,000 damage criticals and that sort of thing. So, honestly, I feel that Kaipi has outdrafted Poseidon in a lot of ways.
Yeah, and as we just saw on the stat, I mean, Puck will be up against the Shadow Fiend. The Shadow Fiend record up against the Puck is 32-13 in favor of Shadow Fiend. That's a big difference. That's very scary for Tame My Wild. And even though it's one of the heroes that he plays a lot of, it's still going to be really risky for him to be up against that Shadow Fiend. I mean, purely by statistical facts, it's already going to be an uphill battle. We'll see who's playing what, though. Of course, we have got Starladder Season 7, Day 19, Game 4 of 5 here. It is Poseidon versus KP. It is Gyrocopter, played by Ilden Airmans. He'll be up going, he will be going on the Gyrocopter. Everybody going top, though, so can't really say too much about that just yet. Jotum or Medved will be playing the Naga Siren. It will be Tame My Wild or Crazy playing the Puck. Everybody having two names here. Sakura, the Swedish stand-in. Why, he was a stand-in until he just was here all the time, so I think we can name him now as one of the part of the squad. We'll be playing the Rubik, and the last one is Xi or KZI playing the Windrunner on the offlane, most likely, depending on if this is going to be an aggressive tri-lane or not. There is a potential that it is, but so far they're just roaming around together as they just blocked the ward camp.
Yeah, and it looks like they already have AUI at bottom, so if they go for an aggro try with the Windrunner, then AUI is just going to sit at bottom, and they're going to be able to put pressure on the Gyrocopter. If they don't do that, which that's what they're going to do, but even if they just did the Windrunner, then all it takes, and like Enigma would just sit safe in his jungle. They didn't counter all of the camps. So either way, I think this is winning lanes for Kaipi. Granted, Eternal Envy has to play very, very careful on the Luna at top, because he's going up an aggressive try, and all he has is a Bane. That's not really good support you want to rely on, especially since Piladai actually picked up Enfeeble level 1. They're completely abandoning Eternal Envy. They're saying, you know what, you pick up some experience, try and survive where you can, but we're going to win the other lanes. We're going to shut down Puck really heavily middle, and Gyrocopter is going to get... Yeah, he's going to get destroyed at bottom. Like, he's able to do well versus Clockwork in the beginning, but the first time that Enigma actually shuffles over to that bottom lane, or the Bane comes in with the sleep, they can actually get a fairly easy kill on him.
Yeah, and then you're starting to think like, okay, what happens if KP wins all these lanes? Poseidon, they are the ones to try and need to try and make something happen before all those BKBs are up, and they're gonna be delayed so much in their core items, so they can't even do that, and they need to do something. They need to change their lanes up somehow to be able to get something out of this still. I wouldn't be surprised to see some more rotations to help out that Gyrocopter bottom, because at least if Gyrocopter gets farmed, that's at least something, right? We do have the rotation of the supports back to top. Pylai has done his job, managed to get Sing Sing to 7 souls, and that's all he needs to get a decent amount of attack damage out of there to be able to go up against that puck. What the puck? But,
I was really expecting AUI to sit in that bottom lane. It's pretty common to have a jungler like that, put some pressure in what is supposed to be a 1v1 off lane, and then you go behind the tower and get some ganks off. But Naga Siren actually rotated to bottom, and they're actually doing dual lanes now, which works out perfectly for AUI. He's going to be able to rotate over to top. If necessary, they'll have the numbers advantage there. And Clockwork by himself, now this is just a traditional off-lane Clockwork. He's just getting experience from this lane. If he gets caught out by the Ensnare and the Gyrocopter, he's going to die. So he's just focusing on picking up a little bit of CS and mainly just getting that experience. Naga Siren, they're just all over the place with their rotations. Now Jotum is going back to top. He doesn't have a single point of experience. I really think they need to pick a lane and stick with it.
Yeah.
Because here they're losing all their lanes. When they're rotating around so much like this, they're losing all their lanes by not making anything happen. This is really bad. Pylai is actually in a lot of trouble at top.
Yeah, they're trying to make something happen, and they do get the first blood. Xeon as Windrunner gets it. They might be able to do some extra damage to Envy, but they don't do enough to force him back to anywhere. He has still got this regen, so he's gonna be fine, but that's a good rotation. They need to keep the pressure on. If they're gonna, like, you're right, they have to pick something and then stick with it. If they're gonna stick to this aggressive tri-lane, they need to continue getting kills, continue making it happen, and so far, 1 kill is great. But they have to keep it going, they have to get more. Or at least shut down Envy completely and force the supports of KP to be going towards a different lane and help out there, even though of course you would be putting some extra pressure on your other solo lanes on the side of Poseidon, but in this case, I mean, they're losing anyway. So why not making it a bit, you know, worse? Could be okay. We do have Gyrocopter doing okay though. I mean, he's 14 to 12 with Bone 7 sitting on 5 to 3. So for now, Gyro is doing okay on this bottom lane.
Yeah, you know, this, I mean, these weird rotations actually to the favor of Kaipi, even though Poseidon did pick up the first blood. The biggest thing about middle is that puck, he's going to lose really hard to an SF, but he's also really good at being able to help out with ganks. So if you get 2 supports to rotate, even just 1 support to rotate over, you have some sort of disable, some sort of nuke that's going to allow an easy orb plus follow up with a silence. That's what makes Puck a really strong mid, is that when you're able to smoke gank, he provides a lot of help in that regards. He's not one of those mids who just sits back and lets the support do all the work. So that's the biggest thing, is that they can get a rotation over to mid. That's how Tame Well, that's the only way he's going to be able to win this mid lane. Right now he's sitting at 17 and 6, but the CS gets much harder once SF hits level 5. He starts hitting like a truck, and his nukes are very, very dangerous, easily clearing out through a lot of creep waves. So even though he's doing really well at CS, this lane's about to go against him hard, and that's about the time usually you want to see supports rotate over.
Yeah, and of course that's the one thing that you can normally do against a Shadow Fiend. It's his thing, it's the reason why he doesn't get picked up that often. It's because he is gankable hero, and that's the one thing that you can do against him to shut him down. But if that's not gonna happen, if Poseidon is gonna let that go, then they're gonna be in a world of trouble, unless they get so much out of this top lane that it's gonna be worth it. But so far, only getting 1 kill is not exactly worth it at all. We're gonna see if they can actually try to do something more here though, but the support's still around there. Still have Bane, I mean, he's got a Nightmare there, as well as of course the Enfeeble. It's just making C's lives hard, and if they go on Envy, there will be a Nightmare to stop any follow-up disable from coming off. I mean, they have got 3 disables in a way, with of course the Ensnare, Telekinesis, and a Shackle, even though it's only level 1. But one of those follow-up disables is not going to be there, because there will be a Nightmare, and then there will not be enough damage to take down Envy, unless you want to dive a tower for that. But it's too early to do that, because, you know, that's just a bit too risky. By the way, we have got Black Hole on the board. It is AUI 2000 who managed to get himself level 6. Very fast.
He's probably going to rotate over. You know, mid isn't really necessary. SF, without any sort of ganks, is going to win this lane. So he actually looks like he's going to rotate down to bottom. This is smart. Clockwork needs the help 1v1 versus a Gyrocopter. And so they're going to be able to pick up this kill, hopefully with the black hole being up. He's got boots as well as the smoke. So that should be their first rotation. Meanwhile, something that Kaipi did was really, really smart. Going up against this tri-lane, you look at their tri-lane, and it's very, very scary. It's a good, aggressive tri-lane. Whenever you have a Windrunner as the carry, you provide a lot of extra damage that's not normally there. But you look at the two supports, both of them want to be level 2. So what they did is they let Eternal Envy pretty much solo the lane. Didn't have Bane in there whatsoever. He rotated mid, and, like, enfeebled the puck and that sort of thing. But it got Eternal Envy a lot of early experience, and that actually makes him very threatening. He's picked up early level 6.
The gank is here for Sing Sing. He gets ensnared, silenced up, and killed off. That's the kind of ganks that they have to have more of. They do it, though, with Tamar Wild getting the last hits. Really needed. By the way, they did scout out the rotation from AOI into the jungle, who, by the way, did use his black hole just now, but didn't get a kill from it, which is kind of surprising. I mean, not surprising that he didn't get a kill from it, but surprising that he still went towards where the Enigma was, with knowing that, you know, there already was an Enigma in his jungle. He knew that, but oh well.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate. That first rotation by the Enigma is so important, because you lose so much. Like, there's a psychological fear that goes on when you know the Enigma. You haven't seen him yet, but you know this is about the time he has black hole. All your lanes are kind of threatened. Like, he could go mid and black hole there with a smoke gank. It's unlikely, but the biggest thing is that tri-lane has to be very, very scared and make sure that they don't overcommit, and all of a sudden there's Enigma behind them when they're trying to dive a tower into, you know, a 2 or 3 man black hole. So now that that's gone, that threat of a black hole is gone, they're gonna be a little bit happy. Missed! Starbuck completely whiffs his ultimate, but they may still pick up the kill anyway at bottom. Yeah, this Gyrocopter is in trouble, though. He's gonna be forced to die, or not gonna be forced to die, he's just gonna die. Starbuck will die too, though. That's bone 7, of course, 1 for 1 in the end. Rotation coming in to try and help out, though. Enigma, of course, if he would have had his black hole, perhaps that would have been a different outcome, but supports rotating, C rotating. A lot of rotations come here to try and save their gyro, but they fail, of course. They still get the kill in the end, but failing to keep their gyro alive might just be a worse blow than actually getting themselves a bone 7 in return, purely for that, you know, advantage that you need to get on the gyrocopter right now. And TP support's also not cheap, not free. Yeah, that was a great gank there for Kaipi, because they forced 4 heroes to the bottom lane, and they made a good trade still. Trading the clockwork for the gyrocopter, absolutely, we'll do that every single time, because gyrocopter is going to be able to win that lane. He should have a CS lead on the clockwork, so trading those two is perfect for them. The rotations as well frees up the map a little bit more. Eternal Envy able to free farm at that top lane, now has Eclipse, now has that maxed out Lucent Beam. Very, very dangerous to try and gank, and they need to gank him. Puck is actually rotating. Puck should be rotating to top. I thought that was him teleporting to top, but he needs to rotate to that top lane. They probably need a smoke gank, because they know that Puck is going to be such a big part of this game. He's going to be the one trying to shut down the SF and shut down the Luna, so they've already got some really good aggressive mid wards to keep an eye on him. Oh. Wow. Bone 7 gets himself a kill on KZI. Still the cogs were there, the shackle was there for KZI to try and do something back, but he was just singled out. Nobody coming in to support him, nobody coming in to help him. And he just gets picked off, and with that, let the pushing begin, right? Rubik will be here by himself as well, also picked up. This is very strange that he was that far out, realizing that there were indeed that many people there. And you've got yourself the Lunar Blessing, you've got Eidolons. You're gonna lose towers fast if you don't do anything against it, if you don't create some opportunities on the map or force rotations out of KP themselves. All of a sudden, it's 3-3, and KP just getting 2 free kills, it feels like. It's just Kaipi is really outplaying Poseidon. Pilot Eye just had a beautiful play at bottom. They ensnared him, and Gyrocopter threw his ultimate, and because they don't have a stun, Pilot Eye was able to nightmare himself. He dodged the first hit, immediately woke himself back up because of that recent change with Nightmare where you can wake yourself up through sleep. He dodged the first land from the Gyrocopter ult, and then walked away and dodged the second one. He was so quick on that, such well-timed that the Gyro ultimate completely useless, and they completely missed a gank on him. And he's now about to pick up level 6, Clockwork, rotating around as much as possible, trying to use his ultimate very aggressively. He's going to look for a gank as well. This should be an easy kill when they catch out the Gyrocopter when he comes to lane. Yeah, they're looking for a gank, they're looking for a pickoff. They've got themselves a Fiend Script. Pilot Die, by the way, even though he's got boots in his stash, he's got nothing else in his inventory, so kinda
funny looking, but yeah, they're gonna try to maybe go for it. Starbuck, is Bone 7 gonna come from the other side, or is he just gonna try mid? Maybe going for the puck. If they can shut the puck down, the puck, we already said, I mean, he is the one that's supposed to be rotating, they're supposed to be ganking. If they can shut him down, that will just delay the game even more for Poseidon, if it can even happen. Oh, Bone 7, I think, oh, he didn't get scouted out. Nighttime MVP here. We do have some help, though, for Tamar Wild. We've got C here, as well as Sakura, so should something happen, they're right behind. In comes the Dream Coil, they want to go for Sing Sing. Some rage is still hit, the silence is still there, though. It's still gonna be a kill, but oh my god, that's gonna be puck dead as well. That was the ultimate that Shadow Fiend, of course, had. That happens when you die. And now the Naga Siren goes down on the bottom lane as well. We have got a hookshot still up on the Gyrocopter, who still has some stick charges, keeping himself up. He doesn't get a kill here on this bottom lane, but at least he doesn't die, which is probably a blessing for him. But his Naga Siren, of course, still dying. His puck dying, and even though they got a Shadow Fiend in return for that, it's still gonna delay the game for Poseidon, and they really need to make something happen, but they can't. They can't.
Yep, the mech is already up on AUI, Eternal Envy. He's got a lot of gold, 1800 sitting on that already. Again, picking up that BKB nice and early would be huge. He may even actually delay the BKB a little bit if he's feeling confident enough. If he can pick up level 11 without getting ganked, without feeling any pressure, he can actually go for an early farm build, and that's what he's going to do. Helmet Dominator is picked up. He sees that his team is doing so well that he's not feeling any pressure, and so he's going to pick up a farm build, which is going to allow him to get into that hard carry position and actually be able to do more physical damage than she does magic. And they're going to be able to end the game faster this way. Even though it leaves him vulnerable to ganks early on, this is going to be able to put her in the driver's seat around that 25 to 30 minute mark, all if she's completely uninterrupted, and be hitting really, really hard, especially with the SF when they combine up and you've got that presence of the Dark Lord, that minus armor coming into play. I really feel that Poseidon, unless they make a lot of team fights happen in the next 10 minutes, this game is already pretty well in the hands of Kaipi.
Yeah, we do have, I mean, with the Gyrocopter, with that Helm of the Dominator, the stats actually say that he should be in a favorable position with having that Helm of the Dominator before 13 minutes. It's a 7-3 record in favor of a Gyrocopter, but I fully agree with you. This Luna is just getting so big so fast, and that's only the Luna. Then you have got a Shadow Fiend. I mean, there's 3 cores. 3.5 core. I mean, I don't really count Enigma as a core, but I think Clockwork can count as a core, so I'm adding them up to be 7.75, and then, yeah, 3.5 cores. They're doing so well. The only one that's not getting any farm is the Bane, and even he is doing really well for himself. And so far, Poseidon is they're all getting something, but they're all not getting enough. None of them is doing like they should be, apart from maybe the Gyrocopter, but they don't have a Blink Dagger. They can't create those opportunities on the map. They don't have the map control, and they're also going to be up against a team that has an Aegis, as AOI is taking down the Roshan right now. He has got the mechanism. He's got 900 gold to boot to that one, and of course, I mean, BKB or Blink Dagger could be very useful here. I mean, Poseidon, you already mentioned, they could have some great team fights going their way, but, well, if there is a blinking Enigma, good luck with that. And even then,
my Wild,
yeah.
he threw the orb, but he didn't actually teleport to him, so he actually blew his silence, thinking he was actually jumping into the Roshan pit.
Wow.
Completely not only missed the kill on Enigma, but also the chance to be able to steal the Rosh, or at least delay it, and be able to sit there and make sure they couldn't pick it up and the rest of his team could follow up. They needed a big play like that, and that was just... you can't even call it a blunder. It was just at the last second, the orb just died before he could teleport to it. Really unfortunate.
I thought it was planned. I thought he was just not wanting to do it, but yeah, that's a pretty big miss. That's a pretty big miss. We have got an aggressive ward placed by KP. They're also counter-warding the wards from Poseidon, but look at where they placed one. Mid lane. They've gotten Aegis. I think they're just gonna plan, you know what, we're gonna fight or come from the high ground, get some good hook shots in, of course. I mean, this is perfect vision. You get vision on the lane. You get vision on if someone tries to farm the hard camp there, and perfect ward. Nice placement for Kaipi. And right now, I mean, they still have 2 tier 1 towers to take down, so, I mean, in terms of control, map control, there's only 1 tower down on the entire map, which is really not that much. But with the pushing power that KP has, and basically Poseidon still not really wanting to fight at this moment, they kind of can't, they can just group up as 5, I think, and get a lot out of that rotation, and maybe win a team fight on the back of that as well, although the song is, of course, up on the Naga Siren.
Yeah, now bottom. Fortunately, Jotum's in the right position to make sure he doesn't get countered, because if Clockwork actually jumps in, Bone 7 hits that hook shot, he'll never actually be able to get off the Song of Siren because of Battery Assault. He just constantly cancels the animation. So if he got caught out right there, he would be dead, and there's no Song of Siren to save him.
Wow.
Right now, though, it's just...
Did you see that stat?
No, I didn't, actually.
So, there have been 7 times that a Clockwork has been able to finish a Blade Mail before 15 minutes. 7 times in competitive play. 6 of those are for Bone 7.
Wow.
Yeah. That's pretty impressive.
That's really impressive, and it's also really, really important. Oh, bottom!
Oh, they want to
jump in on AOI.
Yep, in comes Illidan, in comes a Colden as well. They should be able to get this. A Black Hole, wow. Good thing for him that he didn't actually go for it in the end. In comes Eclipse Zone. AY will still end up going down, but as does the Naga Siren. Envy just coming around, popping his ulti and getting himself a free kill on the back end of there. As we have got a double damage Shadow Fiend hitting on a tier 1 tower. That's a very scary sight. They do have a Dream Coil up. They might be able to get a Shackle if Pylai or Sing Sing make a mistake in terms of positioning. They're sieging on 2 lanes right now, because Envy is still not leaving the bottom lane, and we also do have Bone 7 around there as well.
Yeah, and if they rotate and try and stop Eternal Envy, then that's going to be a tower kill on middle, and it looks like that's going to be the way.
Indeed, they're chasing down Envy with 2. The Dream Coil came in, Rocket Barrage as well. They will be able to find a kill. In the meantime, the mid lane is still not down. Good job for Poseidon to hold off the boat, or hold off the push.
Yeah, and that was also a bit of an error there by Eternal Envy. The fact that he went that way through the jungle instead of just going back through his lane was a bit of a mistake. Still, though, they've got a significant lead. I mean, the fact that Clockwork was able to pick up a Blade Mail that early, before Gyrocopter is able to pick up his BKB, he completely counters the Gyrocopter. Until that BKB is up, Illidan is just food for Bone 7 to pick up, because how do you stop a Clockwork? I mean, he cogs you in, he battery assaults you, your response is to turn on Rocket Barrage, but you can't do that against a Blade Mail. Same goes with a lot of these heroes. You know, Puck, Windrunner, a lot of these heroes are going to be easy food for Clockwork, because they're so squishy, and Battery Assault's just going to tear them apart. There's so much pressure because they won their lane so heavily. Kaipi, they're sitting at a 3,000 gold lead and a 3,000 experience lead, when they're the ones supposed to be playing defense and playing the farm game right now, and they're sieging down 2 towers. Poseidon, they don't have any way to take this late game. I mean, you can bank on the Divine Gyrocopter, but that's still so much to ask for. It's like Poseidon, smoke up, 5-man smoke, do something. Or 4-man smoke and let Gyro continue to farm. They have to put some pressure on Kaipi. They're the ones controlling the map when it should be the other way around.
Yeah, we do have a Blink Deck up on Tamer Wild. He makes use of it instantly, goes for Sing Sing. In comes a Dream Call, down goes Sing Sing. He has, of course, got an Aegis. His Pylai goes for Fiend Script. Gets interrupted for now, losing Beam. Stolen by Sakura, and now Fiend Script stolen by Sakura, but he's not going to be able to use it because he dies before he can. BKB turned on by Sing Sing, looking for another target. Will rage some creeps, that's the only thing he can do for now, but that was not really something that Poseidon was going to hope to happen. The tower still got the Knight, so they still got that one, and of course they still got the Aegis, which is also nice to have happen, but they still lost their Rubik, and they still lost the Fiend Script that Rubik stole, which is maybe even more important, because with that Fiend Script, they might have been able to make something happen. Oh, Gyrocopter, in a lot of trouble. His first BKB charge already used, his cooldown completely missed. Now chasing down Bone 7, I'm not sure if that's the right call, but he's gonna try to do it anyway. Pylai has got a Nightmare, should it become too dangerous, he might be trying to throw that out. We've got some extra support coming in for the Gyrocopter as well. We have got 5 heroes actually on the way towards the top lane, so they really want to force out a fight here, or at least take down a tower. If they don't get a tower or a fight that they win, that's going to be a lot of wasted time. In the meantime, they will lose their tier 2 for it. In comes a Blink, in comes a Silence. The mechanism from AY will keep them up again, and Battery Assault will force Tamer Wild back, so they'll at least try to go for a tower, but as I said, they'll lose their tier 2 bottom for it.
Yeah, you know what they need right now is they need a Jotum to have a teleport. Activate Song of Siren and teleport to bottom. They had the opportunity to catch out both Luna and the SF with that ultimate going off. You've got at least 3, maybe 4 seconds after the teleport to be able to get the rest of your team there through TPs. They all teleport at one time with the Naga Siren going first. You shut down the 2 cores that are threatening you so much. But as it is, they're not trading well at all.
No,
even the kill on Pilot there, ganking him, it's not enough. I mean, it's one of those situations where if you're Kaipi, you go, okay, yeah, you picked off a hero. Who cares? Who cares? Because we're so spread out and we're getting so much farm that every single time you pick up a kill, we're probably picking up double the amount of gold because our SF and Luna are such fast farmers. And we have the late game advantage, so everything is to our favor right now.
Yeah, and on top of that, I mean, there are now, like, with the lineup that we have, we were expecting, as you said, Poseidon to do well early game and late game going towards KP. Right now, there's only one tower down on the side of KP, which is only the top tier one that they just took. And then there is 4 towers down on the side of Poseidon themselves. And they kind of need those towers, as in they need that map control, they need to be able to get some more farm, because, I mean, right now, it looks like they are going to be facing KP in the later game, and if they want to survive that, they have to get more core items up, they have to get control over their map, not allow split push, not trading tier 1s for tier 2s, and have Team Out Wild have some more successful ganks. I mean, ganks are all fine, as you said, but you need to take something in return of it. Be that extra farm or tower. That's what you need. If you have a successful gank, you can get that. As yeah, I was gonna say, Bone 7 lets it go, but yeah, they're not doing that. They're not doing that. They're 7k gold behind. They're 5k experience behind right now. Poseidon, all they can do is try to hope that KP makes some more mistakes or makes some mistakes in positioning and pick them off for it.
Yeah, and this is where smokes are really key. Because Kaipi's doing such a good job with their rotations.
Oh.
Bottom.
Talking about rotations, it comes a dream call though. Pilot will still get picked up. BKB turned all around. Envy hits one as well. Down goes the Naga Siren. No song. Not sure what she was doing that for up. Singzy just gets himself a Rubik kill very easily. Down also goes the Gyrocopter. I believe he killed himself on the blade mill of Bone 7. They want to try and take down the puck as well. One of the 2 survivors that are still here. See coming in as well. I'm not sure. He's still hanging around. Oh, why are you still there, Tim Wild? Why? Jumps himself towards the trees. Raises and flares will follow him. He will end up going down. Phase shift is there. They know where he is though. Blinks himself away. Tries to TP himself out. Wow, he is actually surviving from this. And we have actually a disconnect coming from Capitalist, but he will be back soon hopefully. So don't worry about that. But in the end, KSI, as well as Tema Wild, surviving, which is pretty impressive. However, I mean, it was still fight lost for them, and they lost 3 heroes. They were the ones to start to go aggressive up on Bone 7, and then Bone 7 called in the reinforcements. In comes a hook shot, gets himself, see? He was able to force himself towards the other side of the cog, so gets himself out. He's got a mechanism for his team as well. Will definitely help. By the way, we're 8 to 10 in terms of kills, which is really not that much at this stage of the game. And it should have been so much more if Poseidon had the game that they wanted to. But that early start, that laning phase, shut them down so hard. It's really tough right now for them to come back. We see that Tim Miles trying to build himself as either Vice. He's not going to have that anytime soon. He's only got the ultimate orb thus far. Bone 7, Pilot Die on the hunt, looking for a pick-off. They might find themselves one. In comes Naga Siren. In comes a ward. Naga Siren. Oh, what are you doing? Why is he walking that way? Well, he's gonna have some help, but Bone 7 could actually get a hook shot in. No. He is actually in some trouble himself. Puts on his blade mill. Gets shackled. Oh, doesn't like. Power shot's still there though. Cog as well. Hooks himself up to Tame him out. He might be able to get away from this one. FaZe was helping out. There will be a blink though, and it should be a kill. Pilot dying, of course, as the first one. They instantly smoke up and try to make something happen. They did not smoke up on the reward, so that's good for them. Roshan being attempted in the meantime by the rest of KP, who should be able to take this unless Puck will be able to blink in there in time, which might be the case. In comes a blink. Aegis picked up already by the Luna though, and Bane buys back because he wants to be in that fight. In comes a Gyro with the cooldown with the flak and an AOI, taking a lot of damage. Aegis already burned. There still goes the Windrunner though, and Snare by Shadowfiend, who already used his BKB. Now gets put in a nightmare by Pylon Knight to just take off that ensnare, or at least keep him safe while in the ensnare. As we see that Illidan getting chased down here as they walk past the tier 1. Should be okay. We still have Tamer Wild sitting in the jungle, sitting in through some orbs, but we'll be able to get himself out. I think that Illidan also should be fairly safe. As I say this though, Luna, considered the fastest hero in the game, he's on the hunt. He has got an Eclipse as well. Oh, nice juke, but is it enough? He's gonna try to... he can BKB TP out, I think. He should be okay with that. Unless he's gonna get hooked. And he will end up going down. He doesn't even buy a TP. Just goes down. just goes down. Wow, I was actually looking at the wrong hero with that BKB. Well, did not BKB, did still get a TP. Couldn't BKB, already used it.
Shiver.
Yes, welcome back.
I'm gonna say this is your fault. I literally have never had this happen before.
What?
Without like my cats like killing my router or something. I may just like randomly completely, I don't know, my.
I think it died again. Yeah, I did. Why does he blame it on me? Damn. Because of everybody's internet problems in this world. Well, that was a fight, of course, taken by KP. They took the Aegis for it. The good thing, though, Poseidon, I mean, they did take the Aegis in return for it as well. KP smoking up, coming in from behind, coming towards Medved. Oh, Medved, you are in so deep. His positioning has been questionable this entire game. That's a gem that only just got picked up. Already taken back. Nice shackle from C. Power shot coming through as well. In comes a hook shot up on Table Malto, so he can't go in on that orb. In comes a Dream Card up on 2. So he'll try to make something happen. Pylai die. He doesn't have a Fiend's Grip anymore, but he does have some burst damage there. And Tamar Wild, one more hit away from dying. And that's going to be something that Envy will try to take care of. But he orbs himself towards the high ground to join his teammates first. Envy still has his BKB. Hasn't used it just yet. The BKB already on cooldown for the Gyrocopter, who tries to get himself away from Bone 7's claws. Bone 7, though, I'm thinking he is not letting that go. Never mind, he does let that go as he teleports himself out. Nice Force Staff. Gets himself out safe. And in the end, only one that dies is the Naga Siren, which is still questionable deaths for this Naga Siren, for sure. Are you back?
I am.
Cool.
Probably only for a minute or two. Every single time I talk, it seems to go down. But it's no surprise. Like every single team fight, Kaipi is trading better and better and better. Soon SF's going to have his first damage dealing item. Eternal Envy already has that BKB, plus going to start probably building into, yeah, you know, safe option would be something like Butterfly, or even he can even go like Satanic at this point, because there's actually not that much physical damage. So between the BKB and if he picks up Satanic, he'll just probably never die. He doesn't have to build into damage necessarily, because he's got the SF to follow him up. Just Eclipse by itself, now SF actually picking up that MKB. Gyro isn't even close to a Butterfly yet. And Sing Sing's like, I've already got that counter. No problem.
Yep. I mean, Gyro is the only one that's actually able to keep up a bit with the farm of KP's cores, but I mean, in the top 5, there are 4 heroes of KP in terms of net worth. Even the Puck that you would expect to do a bit better is just, he just doesn't have enough. He still doesn't have his Eye of the Vice. He only has got that Blink Dagger that, of course, he's trying, I mean, he's using it. And he is able to get some nice Dream Coils off, and he's able to get some nice Silences off, but there's just no damage to follow up on, because Gyrocopter is the only one that KP has to focus down, and then they can be sure that Poseidon is not going to be as big of a threat to them anymore, and it's just getting more and more dangerous for Poseidon. On top of that, I mean, the one big save that Poseidon had to stop the KP from going in is a Naga Siren, of course, with that song, but every time he somehow... Medved finds himself in the middle of the fight, or finds himself picked up before the fight even starts, and he can't help his team with that song.
Yeah, this is one of the situations where you look back in the draft and you kind of wish... remember I talked about the fact that it could be an aggressive tri-lane with the Gyrocopter? This is one of those situations where you kind of wish they had gone an aggressive tri-lane with the Gyro and picked up some sort of hard carry to farm up in the safe lane. Just because of the fact that it's so hard. Like, Kaipi did a really good job drafting against this aggression from Poseidon, because they have a dual core lineup, meaning you can't just shut down one hero and win the game that way. So you have 2 different heroes to really lock down, and both of them have really, really strong mid-game. Like, they don't come into the game until the team fights, until they have BKBs usually, but when they do have those BKBs, they absolutely tear up team fights with a lot of their nukes. Both of them provide a lot of magic damage early on, which transfers into late game physical damage, which they just completely out-carry Poseidon. So even if Poseidon was able to make a better go at the laning phase, they still would have had to push up against an SF and a Luda with BKBs, with their ultimates, and that's just really, really tough to push up against that. Satanic was picked up by Eternal Envy, so he's probably never going to die again for the rest of this game, unless they make a serious error in a team fight. And Kaipi is ready to just end this game at this point. They're going to group up and start pushing
Yeah,
towers.
talking about errors, I think Timberwald just made one. He can still blink himself out, but he was very close to dying there. Bit of an awkward orb to try and get himself home to, but in the end he doesn't die, so that's good. So FKP threatening in this mid lane though. They'll take this tier 2 for free, I was gonna say. Tame him out again, he's a bit suicidal, that one. He's got that haste rune, of course, I mean that helps out. Fortification comes out, in comes a hook shot, gets himself the gyrocopter, turns on his BKB. Called on up now, there, the song is there as well. But all these BKB heroes, they don't care about the song, they just don't. That's the only carry that Poseidon has picked off. Where's your defense now? He can't buy back, or he can. He doesn't want to though, because otherwise he'll lose all his hard-earned gold.
Yeah, I think like this is a divine build. Like I think Gyro would need to keep his gold, go divine, go all in, and hope for the best.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's a desperation rapier, if you will. But they need it. It's the only thing that they can still do. But look at this. They're just, I mean, they're just gonna wait. The Dream Code comes out. Fiend's Grip is there up on Tame Wild. They're already getting interrupted. Tame Wild, whoa, very low, but is able to get himself out. In comes a hook shot, misses actually on Sakura. Nobody dying just yet. They're still waiting for the gyro to come back, and they're still waiting, of course, to try and defend. In the meantime, KP wasn't able to get the Rex though. Will they do a turn and burn? No, they won't. They back off. Surprisingly, Poseidon, without a buyback, able to defend their Rex. I was not really expecting that.
Yeah, still, Kaipi just backing. I mean, they didn't really lose anything, so back up, farm up a little bit more. They have smoked, but I doubt they still need to heal up a little bit. SF now has Helmet Dominator. Clockwork's really big. He's going to start working towards his Aghanims. Already has his Blade Mail plus Orchid. So now he's actually a big threat to Puck as well. Usually Puck is able to be, you know, just get out of their cogs pretty easily. It's one fight. It's one fight that Poseidon can win, which is the Divine Rapier fight, and hope that they catch Kaipi by surprise with that pickup, and the damage is going to be enough to burn through Kaipi before their lifesteal goes off. Because we've got both the cores do have some form of lifesteal. It's going to be up to Puck to keep them disabled long enough, that way that physical damage is actually able to wipe them out before Satanic is activated, and Scythe of Ice is going to be key for that. He's trying to grab that up. He just needs another 1,000 gold, and he'll have that one. But it looks like Kaipi wants to end the game before he's going to be able to pick that up.
Yeah, I mean, he's so close also. Actually, he can pick it up right now, but he needs to do it right now. TP back and then force out a fight. No more time for this. Oh, bit of wrong position. John tries to TP himself out, but nope, can't do it. And I have been saying, that's just wrong positioning once again. He doesn't have, he didn't have a song, but he would have had it in 16 minutes, 6 seconds rather. But now they won't have it for another 30 seconds. We do have a gyrocopter, of course, with the rapier. Let's see how much he can do here. Or if they're gonna give up their base, to at least give Naga Siren a chance to get the song back. I mean, there's no fortification anymore. The Rex will die. Nice shackle, a bit too late. Here comes the silence, Flat Cannon doing quite some damage here, forcing at least KP back. I think they've realized it, right? They must have. They have a ward up the high ground.
Yeah. Yeah, they definitely realized it from at the very least. Those last couple hits hitting a little bit harder than they would expect. So I'm sure they know by now. They're just going to take their melee racks. They see this now and they're like, okay, Naga Siren's going to come back. Let's just go ahead and start putting some pressure on bottom. Make sure we don't lose a really bad team fight that could snowball against us. Poseidon could, if they win one team fight, just go all in through mid. Force a second team fight. If they win that one, next thing you know, they're going to be taking racks, and they're going to actually be in control of this game. So this is the all-in strat coming out from Poseidon. And they're looking to make it work for them right now as they 5-man through mid.
Yeah, they're gonna get flanked though if they're not careful. They find themselves a Luna. If they can pick off Envy, would be a big deal. He turns on his Satanic and his BKB though, goes for the clip. It's already a Rubik dead. Envy though, still getting picked off. Fiend's Grip up on the gyro, but nobody to do the damage. In comes Sing Sing, and in comes a black hole. Down goes the Rapier, down goes the gyrocopter, down goes Poseidon. And that's gonna be a Rapier on the floor. Nobody to pick it up just yet. Pyline die, you really don't want it? Nah, Sing Sing gladly will take it though. That's a GG right there, and that's gonna be KP getting victorious here. It's 6-1 now in StarSeries, Star Ladder. Then we'll be able to continue towards the ISO Cup. My microphone is broken in Dota TV? No.
I mean, they're saying mine is, but I don't know. I see it going off, so maybe it's some issue with reconnecting.
Oh yeah, that's actually a standard thing. If a co-caster reconnects or disconnects, sorry, I should have said that towards people in Dota TV. If a co-caster disconnects, they have to just switch broadcaster to the Russian and then back to us, and then they'll have you again.
Ah,
yeah.
Gotcha. Well, please fix. Is that the last Kaipi game of the day?
What do you mean, for StarSeries, yes?
Yeah, for Star
But it's not the last StarSeries game. We're gonna have another one. It will be Power Rangers versus Ubulst that we'll have next. See if Ubulst can finally get themselves a win under their belt. So far, of course, they have been without one. It's kind of sad. By the way, are you leaving us or are you staying? AKA, do you want to do shoutouts, plugins, or not?
Yeah, sure. Real quick, Twitch TV and Twitter, both of them at Dota Capitalist. Other than that, good luck with your last game.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, thank you. And of course, thank you for co-casting. We'll be right back though with Poseidon. No, not Poseidon. With Power Rangers versus Ubel. Stick around for another game of Dota 2 Star Ladder in just a moment.